What's up, y'all? Grab your chapstick, get you a water, sit on down. We got announcements this morning. So over the next 2 weeks, I'll be traveling. There will be episodes. The sound quality will be different because we're traveling. I'm not taking my home setup. I'm taking like my travel setup, which this is also the first time I'll be traveling since doing the podcast. I'm super excited because I will be working while I'm traveling because I'm curating like a little mini series. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. Just thought I'd let you guys know. Make sure you guys follow us on IG at Gregory the Podcast. And we are also on Threads at Gregory the Podcast. Let's start the show because if you don't know where you are, this is Gregory the Podcast. I'm your host, Gregory, and I've got something to say. What's up, y'all? So let's talk about Keke Palmer for a second. If you don't know who she is a 29-year-old young black actress, singer, dancer. She's an all-around multi-talent, right? And there's so much to unpack in this current situation with her and Mr. Darius. The dress, the concert, the respectability politics that people want to throw onto it. Like I said, Keke Palmer is 29 years old. I'm 28. I've watched her career blossom since she stepped on the scene in 2004, right? She's done movies, she's done music, she has won awards. And to be quite honest, she's like, right now, she's considered like the Black America sweetheart. Like, she's funny, she's just all around like a cute person, like just a bubbly kind of person, sweet, genuine. So to see this whole like narrative take flight for her, about what she was wearing and whether it was appropriate or not. Let's talk about it. I don't know how y'all go out to R&B concerts, but I think the dress she had on for an R&B concert, especially as a woman of her age, was very appropriate. Not to mention, Keke is still navigating that whole space of like motherhood and womanhood. And I know a lot of people never saw her as like traditionally sexy before. And I think that's why she's still trying to navigate this area, because she's been very vocal and honest about how like she was like, I had a little body, but after I gave birth, now I've got body yaddy yaddy. And she's been dressing like she's got body yaddy yaddy, which is so cute to see her in, because again, for so long we have saw her as like young Keke, but like again, she's almost 30. This conversation about what she should have had on and how Usher was singing to her. First off, Usher sings to literally everybody like that. He's been doing this for like 25 years now. Like that's what he does. Like that's just his show. Like relax. Anyways, but I want to take this conversation and go in a different direction. Everybody's been talking about the respectability politics of it, how she should be dressed, how she should behave as a mother. I don't know. Like I think it's fine. Like, she's Keke Palmer. Like, I don't think what Keke had on was crazy as a mother. But again, like, y'all look up to Offset. Like, his wife is also a mother. So I think y'all pick and choose when you decide you want to have these conversations, regardless of whether that was Cardi's image before Offset. Like, if you're going to hold somebody to the standard, let that be the standard across the board, personally. But that's just me. Hey. So let's talk about being chose and the security that's supposed to come in that. First off, I want to say, when I say being chose, I'm not talking about in the pick-me fashion. I'm talking about when you've been open, honest, and you've had clear communication with your partner and they still choose to entangle, to date, to intertwine themselves with you. They still continue to carry on with you. This is not like you are fitting to be picked. You are who you are and they still pick. That's the kind of like being chose we're going to talk about today, okay? A lot of us don't really understand what like being chose looks like because it has such a negative connotation, and which is why I decided to explain what I mean by that, because we're so used to fighting, struggling, shitting, and crying to get somebody to see our value and worth. The moment a genuine person comes along and tries to care for you, just being you, just who you are, mundanely, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, right? Physically, you're immediately wondering who sent you. And like, while that's a fair experience, I want to share with y'all what like being chose really can look like, because I have homegirls, I've got homeboys who like real life, they don't cook, they don't clean, They have a list of I don'ts. They don't suffer. Whatever their like lines are. They are still in domesticated partnerships with people who entered the situations knowing that information. And there's no pressure for them to learn or do these tasks or like start doing these tasks. And I know y'all are like, well, where is this going? These people often don't assume that their partner is going to leave them for someone who cooks and cleans. And I think that's a very big factor here. Because as he was talking about like her dress and how she was dressed and where she was, I feel like this was more about seeing that he couldn't. Sometimes your partner has to like own up to the fact that they feel like they can't compete or they can't compare, and that gives them a sense of insecurity, and that has nothing to do with you. Again, that's something they have to unpack on their own journey on their own time, right? Because getting chose is great and all based on who you are, but if people are not comfortable in that, they're not secure in that, they don't know who they are, they're not ready to stand in that, or they're not standing in that, they're gonna show their ass eventually. They have no choice because they fail to communicate, one, with themselves, and two, with their partner, the ways in which they often are dissatisfied or unfulfilled in their own personal journey. And again, this is their own personal journey. There's nothing that you can do to inherently bring this out of them. Like, yes, you can be supportive and all that, but essentially they have to figure out why they're feeling so unsatisfied and what standards have they held themselves to that have left them feeling unfulfilled. Those are 2 starter questions for you, by the way. You see, and this brings me to my next point. Don't make yourself digestible for your partner. Be who you are, because there's somebody out there that'll eat you like a fried pork chop between 2 pieces of white bread with a dash of hot sauce on it. See, the problem is y'all want to get with the baddies. Y'all want to get with the hoochie daddies because they look good, smell good, are good, move good, right? And then you want to dull them down. You see, I wrote a piece called The Price is Up, and I just want to share a quick analogy from you. It's a different episode, but I want to share a quick analogy with you today. You see, I'm a product on the shelf. You walk in the store, down the aisle, pick me up off the shelf, turn me around and read my ingredients list. And you're like, damn, this sounds good, but I wish he had. Ooh, it need a little bit of, sir, put me down. Unhand me, you hooligan. You don't even know what to do with me. Okay? Because after you've done doing your subtraction, your addition, your long division, and trying to foil out my personality and my aesthetic, who the hell am I at that point? Now that I'm palatable, now that I'm easy to digest, who the hell am I? I'm not the product you picked up. Speaking of math, I'm sure the math isn't mathing, but simply put, sometimes your partner can be jealous of you. And I know you're thinking how, but those same qualities that they often identify, admire, and love so much within you, sometimes they feel like these qualities are lacking within themselves. So then they become jealous of people who possess these things, right? The whole point of this being, though, you cannot continue to nurture people who are jealous of you. These people are inherently dangerous, right? They are willing to do whatever, whenever, however, to bring you down, to humble you, to make it seem like you're at eye level with them, only because they're missing something within themselves. They are looking for something. They're still searching for something. Hurt people hurt people. And with that being said, if you don't know where you've been, this has been Gregory the Podcast. I'm your host, Gregory, and that's been my something to say. Thanks.